right, can everybody see me? You see me? Okay guys, welcome back to Bad Luck Garage. It has actually been a while since I've made a video. Those of you who follow me on Facebook, if you're on the group page or you follow the Bad Luck Garage Instagram, you kind of know where I've been, what I've been doing. For those that don't, well, follow me on Instagram at the Bad Luck Garage. Anyway, guys, here's where we're at. We are back to working on the Chaos Theory Camaro. And what I've got here is the engine that I just got the other day from the scrapyard. Right off the bat, we've got some issues with this engine. A little more than I thought I was going to have when I bought it. But the fact of the matter is, I got it cheap. The whole reason I got this one, the Junkyard actually had it priced way cheaper than the rest of the 5.3s. And I think it's because whoever pulled this thing out of the Tahoe pretty much handled it like a freaking bowling ball. I mean, well, I'll kind of talk about it as we go along. I've already pulled the intake and all that off of it. The intake, the starter, the alternator, all that's laying over there across the shop. Or the shop, the freaking garage. This ain't no shop, guys, it's a garage. And a very small one at that. I don't even know why anyone would have done this, but I'm actually missing the bolt right here for this this main. You know, you've got the 6-bolt mains in this, and somebody had removed this bolt. I'm not sure why. It doesn't look like the oil pan has been off at all. So my only thing I can think is maybe whoever removed it, they thought for whatever reason that bolt had to come out to do something. I don't freaking know. But anyway, so I'm gonna have to find me another bolt. So that's what we're looking at. And also down here, which is the original reason that I thought they had it priced so cheap, there is a hole in the oil pan. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, and I think it's maybe where they dropped it. Something else I noticed, this valve cover was loose, and the bolt here is bent. I'm hoping it hasn't. Yeah, I mean, I can tell this is bent because I cannot get it started. All the others are started. This one's bent. I'm hoping it did not fuck up the head here. Something else that's not a huge deal, but I was hoping to reuse all these spark plug wires, at least for now. And one of the spark plug wires is broke on the other side, but that's okay. We've got extra sets of plug wires around here. Oh, and as usual with all these LS engines, we've got several of the bolts broken off in the head, you know, for the exhaust manifolds. You know, not a big deal. We'll get those out with the welder. Oil pan really doesn't affect us because this is going in a 3rd gen Camaro. I couldn't use that oil pan anyway. We're gonna have to do something else there. But what does affect us is this. The water pump seems to be seized up, and all these fan blades are bent back and broken. So this is something that, yeah, and you can see the clutch, it's all jacked up, and the power steering, I mean, you can hear that power steering screwed, and the pulley on it is warped. Not worried about that either, guys, because we're not running power steering on this car. But it just kind of sucks that all these accessories are, you know, fucked up the way they are, because I was, you know, really hoping to maybe be able to sell some of the accessories to someone else. But, you know, the power steering pump, the pulley's definitely warped. I'm thinking the pump itself might be screwed up. I think somebody literally dropped this engine on its face, and then it came down and busted the oil pan. I'm just hoping that inside everything is good, but I've got no way of knowing. They didn't tell me the mileage on it, and for the price, I didn't even bother asking, because my whole chain of thought was, I'm taking this thing apart to gap the rings, I'll check the bearings and everything while I've got it apart. So in this video, basically all we're going to be doing, I've only got about an hour or so before I have to go to bed, so I'm just going to start tearing this thing apart, guys. I've had a lot of stuff going on, not really related to the channel. I did want to tell you guys, for those of you who are DR Nova fans and who don't follow the Instagram or Facebook, You know, I actually put a little short video clip on the other day of me and Uncle Ray and my wife and his girlfriend and everything cruising around in the Nova. We finally got the rear end rebuilt in the Nova again, and I just wanted to say, you know, on the last video dealing with the rear end noises we were getting, a lot of people were kind of getting down on my rear end guy that I usually use to rebuild my rear ends, and I can understand why. But guys, you got to understand, the guy that usually rebuilds the rear ends for me, he's rebuilt quite a few for me. I've never had a problem with any of them. He knows what he's doing, and he was telling me that he thought something was funny with the gears, like the gears were cut funny or something, and that's why he couldn't get the whine out of it. He actually set it up several times and took it back apart several times, and the pattern looked perfect on it, but it you know, it just whined, and it was getting worse and worse. Well, that guy, the guy who usually does my rear ends, he actually works for a dealership, guys, and he doesn't want me mentioning his name, like precisely who he is or anything. There's another broken spark plug wire. That sucks. But he doesn't want me putting his name out because, you know, he doesn't want to get in trouble because he works at the dealership and he's doing side work. So we're not going to really talk about who he is, but he is a family member also. So anyway, he was backed up a couple months on you know, working on people's stuff. So it was going to be a couple months to get him to redo the rear end if I would have waited on him. And, you know, understandably, Ray didn't want to do that. So we took it to someone else who came highly recommended and who could get to it right away. And he pretty much just verified what Robbie had told me. Something was up with the gears, guys. The cheap gears that we put in it. And I think it was just a fluke. A lot of you have asked me who made the gears that were in it. You wanted to know. So I'm going to tell you. But before I tell you, I also want to make it perfectly clear that the company who makes those gears, they're a very reputable company, and, you know, with good reason. A lot of people run their stuff, don't have any problems. I did. Like I said, I think it was a fluke. But I didn't reach out to them because by the time we figured it out, we'd already put like 1,000 miles on those gears, and I didn't know for sure that's what it was, so I didn't want to raise hell with them. So, but anyway, guys, the gears that we used were house brand from Quick Performance. Some of you guys might recognize that name. They make really kick-ass 9-inch rear end conversions for a lot of vehicles, and hell, I may even be using them eventually on this Camaro. I don't know for sure yet. I'm still researching. But that's who it was, guys. The gears that were whining came from Quick Performance, and we replaced them with a set of Richmond gear 373s. We stayed with the same gear ratio. And now it's just got a very, very faint, and my phone's going off. It's got a very faint whining still, but it's barely audible, and honestly it seems like it got quieter the more we drove it the other day, so it might just be like a break-in thing. Yeah, I don't know how you guys like to get your fans off, but generally what I do is take a couple of pipe wrenches, monkey wrenches, whatever you want to call them. And I just stick one on the pulley and the other one around the fan nut there. Just pop it loose like that. Yeah, guys, one problem when you get engines from a junkyard is you got to worry about how those yard hands handled everything. And I'm not mentioning the name of the yard I got this from, because I'm going to be honest, I wasn't too impressed with the way they handled. I mean, just looking at this engine, it's obvious it was manhandled, pulling it out, and then kind of the way everything went down with loading it and stuff. I wasn't too impressed. That's one good thing about a pull apart, guys, is if you go to a pull apart, you're the one handling everything. So, you know, if something gets broken or messed up or whatever, that's on you. But when you go to a regular yard, you know, where they pull these things and have them all sitting in a building, you're just kind of at the mercy of the guy who pulled it and how he felt that day, I guess. Now again, most of this stuff I'm not going to be using because this is, you know, we're not going to be running power steering. We're definitely not going to be running AC. But the water pump being messed up, I'm kind of aggravated about that, because that means I'm going to have to buy a freaking water pump. I mean, I've got like three LS, you know, Vortec truck style water pumps in the garage here, and every one of them are leaking. So I'm definitely going to have to buy one. That's the funny thing too, guys. All these LS swaps you've seen me do, I've had to buy water pumps for every freaking one of these things, because I have yet to get a used engine from a junkyard, and once I get it all cleaned up and dropped in whatever we're dropping it in, it not be leaking. It's like I've never got a used LS engine and the water pump wasn't already going bad. It's kind of strange, but then once I replace them, I've never had one go bad again. And knock on wood, I had yet to have one go bad in like the vehicles that I own that already have LS style engines in them, like, you know, the China Vet and Abbey or Avalanche out there. I know it's weird. I think maybe what it is it's just where they sit for a while, and after they sit for a while, maybe they just, you know, something goes wrong in them. Yeah, what a freaking pain in the ass, guys. What a pain in the ass. So like I said, the whole problem there was that the fan was all messed up and bent and shit, and so I was having trouble getting the pipe wrench in there to it. And yeah, this water pump is froze up, so it doesn't matter. We're gonna have to buy a new. We're gonna have to buy a new water pump. I'll tell you right now, I'm a little aggravated about the power steering pump getting jacked up, because the power steering pump on the Nova, on the DR Nova, is actually starting to whine a little. We're gonna have to break those loose. It's actually starting to whine a little, and I was really hoping that this water pump would, or I mean this power steering pump on this engine would be good, so we could put it on the Nova, you know, swap that out. But It's a no-go on that now too. So I get these all broke loose, and then I can hopefully finish them off with the 1/4-inch Milwaukee there. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry I've been gone a while, but you know, had a lot of stuff going on. My job, and you know, a lot of events. Both my kids are in band, and one of them's in chorus, and just life's happening, guys. But what I've been doing, you know, while I have it, oh yeah, wow, yeah, they smashed this thing down so hard it pushed the rear cover out, like they smashed the whole nose of it in. Sucks too, because it looks like this was a fairly new water pump. That really sucks, man. Whoever pulled this is a real asshole, huh? I was saying earlier, guys, if you get in on the Facebook group, and those of you who are in the group can testify to this. I mean, I haven't really gotten a whole lot done, but what I have got done, I've been posting on the group page and on the Bad Luck Garage Instagram page. So, you know, for those times when I don't feel like I'm doing enough to actually make a video, I'm still posting, guys. I'm posting on Instagram and on the group page. So I know it's not like big long videos on there, but it's something to let you know what's going on, let you know that there's still progress being made. Wow. I tell you what I'm worried about, guys, is where they smashed that down so hard. Number one, I was worried that maybe this timing cover was cracked, and I'm gonna have to clean it to know for sure. But also, I'm worried about the crank pulley. You know, I hope it didn't. Like, I don't know how hard this thing was dropped. I hope they didn't like mess up the thrust bearing or something in it. Let's see what's in. Yeah, that's definitely warped. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they pushed up the valve cover. Hopefully it's still good. This one might be warped too. But on the 6.0 you guys saw me build for the DR Nova, I actually used some stainless steel hardware. So I've got a lot of the old hardware for it, so I can replace these two that are bent here. And I want to say, guys, we are going to clean this up before we put it back together. What are we looking like? Is that messed up? Don't look like it. It actually doesn't look bad in here, guys. Like, it's not, there's not like a lot of heavy sludge or anything. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this don't look bad at all. I was saying earlier, I don't know how many miles were on this engine, but look down in here. This doesn't look bad. Now, there's some dirt here, but I think that's where that valve cover was pushed up and stuff was probably falling in. Or hell, shit, that may have just now fallen in when I took it out. Who knows? But, yeah, there's not really a lot of gunk or buildup or anything in here, guys. That's a good sign. Oh, shit, guys. I'm sorry. I got completely sidetracked. Speaking of backlash. So here was the deal with the rear end and the Nova. The rear end guy that just put it back together, he said it was the weirdest thing. He said it was the weirdest thing he's ever seen. He was actually on the phone with me because I told him I kind of wanted him to try to figure out what the hell was going on with it. If it was bad parts, or, you know, if my normal rear end guy might have just gotten hurry or something. So he took it apart while he had me on speakerphone, or started taking it apart, and he said it was really odd because, when he checked the, when he first checked the, I guess, backlash or whatever, I think he said backlash. It might have been something else, but anyway, he said it was really odd because he had like 0 backlash. Like it was tight as heck. But then he could rotate the ring gear 180 degrees and it would have like 12 thousandths of backlash. Or 1200ths, whatever it is. So, and then he said when he would take the, but once he took the axles out, he could then rotate it all the way around any direction he wanted, and the backlash was pretty much right where it's supposed to be. I think he said it was like at 6 or 8 thousandths or something. I forget exactly what he said, but he said it was set just about where it needed to be if the axles were not in there. But if he shoved the axles back in, it was doing the same thing all over again. Oh, wow. We're going to need push rods, guys. If you can see that. But there's definitely some uneven wear on that push rod. That one don't look bad. So far it's just this number, what is that? Number 8. Yeah, these push rods are shot, guys. I mean, they are toast. But anyway, but then when he would shove the axles back in, it would go right back to that, where it would have like 0 backlash. It was actually binding up on one side of the ring gear. But then when he spun it all the way around, you know, it was like a little over 12 thousandths of back. They had too much backlash on the other side. So he's not sure what the deal was with that. But I think the consensus was, like what we finally came to conclusion was that either A, the ring gear in that quick performance ring and pinion that I got, either A, that ring gear was jacked, just cut, like really messed up or something, or B, one of the axles was warped, which that doesn't make any sense because the axles being warped doesn't really make sense because when it had the stock gears in it, you know, we didn't have any problem. It was quiet as can be when it had the stock 308s in it. And, you know, we used those same axles originally. But anyway, now it's rebuilt. Everything's working good. It's still got the Yukon limited slip in it, but it's got the, it now has a set of Richmond gear 373s, a set of Summit Racing. We put new axles, all new bushings, all new bearings, all new seals. The whole rear end basically is brand new, and it's got a Proform, one of the aluminum diff covers with the brace built in that you screw up against the end cap. So it is an 8.5 rear end, so hopefully it can put up, you know, with whatever abuse we're throwing at it. My wife and kids actually got me all this Milwaukee stuff for Father's Day / my birthday this year. Some of you guys already know that. I'm going to go ahead and break these loose on the other head while I got this out. But who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll get me a 1/2-inch drive impact, Milwaukee impact or something this year or next year. That's what I'm hoping for. It's a little more expensive than the stuff they got me this year though, so I don't know. I'm not that good a dad and that good a husband, so I might not be worth all that. Little head bolt tub there. Let's go ahead and break these guys loose. What I like to do is kind of break them loose from the ends. You know, not exactly like you would torque them down, but, you know, similar pattern. I go to the ends and work my way to the center, whereas, you know, when you're torquing them down, you generally start at the center and work your way out to the end. So you're taking them off, kind of do the opposite pattern, and it's not a huge deal, guys, but it, you know, it's going to reduce the chance of possibly warping the head. So I know everybody's always like, fucking send it, it don't matter, but I'm kind of that way to a point. But when it's something like that, I mean, it's not hurting you. It's not hurting you one bit, or taking any more time to take these things off end to end and work to the middle than it would if you just started here and worked across. So, ounce of prevention, pound of cure, all that shit. That's all I'm saying. This is actually a good time, I feel like, to kind of talk about something that's been on my mind, and it's obviously been on all y'all's minds, because a few jackasses have actually made some comments on some of the videos, like asking me why I hate on Matt Happel and sloppy mechanics. So here's the thing, guys. Number one, I have no fucking clue. Like, whoever said that, if you guys are watching this video, I would love for you to put in the comments to this video where the hell you got that from. Because I have said on numerous occasions that as far as the turbo stuff, I have learned a shit ton from Matt. So I don't think I've ever dogged on Matt or sloppy mechanics. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but I have been before. But yeah, guys, I've got nothing against Matt. As a matter of fact, I've got nothing but respect for the guy. I mean, you know, he's great at doing what he does, which is, you know, not so much nowadays, but, you know, in the older days, it was just working with what he had and getting the freaking job done and having a good time, man. I got nothing against that. Now, what I do have something against is kind of what people have turned sloppy mechanics into, which is not what, I mean, I feel like Matt had originally had intended. And there we go, guys. There we go. I think I got fucked. I think I got fucked on this engine. This is what I was worried about. I was told this was the engine out of a 2006 Tahoe. But looky here. We got the different size head bolts. This is not a 2006 engine. Now, the whole reason I went for this engine is because I wanted the Gen 4 rods. And if we got these head bolts, there's a pretty good chance we do not have Gen 4 rods. This is not, oh boy. Yep, I'm getting pissed off right now, guys. About to get pissed off. May be able to clean that up and copper spray it and reuse it. I'll have to check on that. A lot of carbon buildup in here. Tell you what, guys, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Not liking it one bit. We're gonna, yeah, let's go ahead and pull these lifters out. I'm not liking this. Anyway, while I'm continuing to tear this down and see if I got screwed or not, which I'm pretty sure already that I did. But while I'm continuing to tear this down, what I was saying about sloppy mechanics is what I really liked about you know, the whole sloppy mechanics thing was Matt was pretty much doing what me and a lot of guys were doing when we were young, and that was, you know, hot rodding what we had with what we had. And it wasn't about just doing stupid shit for the hell of it. It was about having to find creative solutions to problems because, you know, we didn't have the money to fix things the right way or the by the book way. Don't want to just say the right and the wrong way, but we didn't have the money to fix things by the book, you know, the way the manual tells you to. And what I don't like now, and this isn't Matt's fault, this is just, you know, a lot of the people that are now, you know, followers of Matt's on his site and things like that, is they have made it about who can just do stuff the dumbest way possible. Which, I don't know, guys, like, I don't, you know, I don't think, I mean, I'm not Matt, I'm not inside his head. Obviously, I'm not Matt Happel. But I would imagine that's not what he really had in mind. I mean, I would imagine that, you know, in the beginning, what I saw from him was he was, you know, like I've already said, just using what he had. And now it's just kind of turned into a shit show to where people are like purposely fucking up, making shitty welds and stuff like that. And they're like, is this sloppy enough? And yeah, guys, that shit just aggravates me because I'm not about that. So if I have said something about that, and that's what some of you have interpreted as me dogging Matt, then that's what that's really about, guys. I respect the hell out of what Matt does, but it's the whole, you know, doing shit sloppy just for the sake of doing it sloppy, which is not what he does. I mean, wow, these things are really bound up in here. That's not what he does. I mean, he does shit on a budget, but my problem is totally not with him. It's with a lot of the people that have taken, you know, taken it to a level of stupidity now. Yeah, guys, I'm really, at this point, I'm really worried about this engine. I think I took, there were at least 4 different engines on Marketplace that I could have got for the same price, you know, a couple $100. Actually, there was some I could have got even cheap. One I could have got even cheaper, and it would have already had the drive-by cable, throttle body I need, and all that. But the whole reason, I'm about tired of fucking with these lifters, guys. I think I'm just going to wait and push them out from the bottom. The whole reason I went and got this and sacrificed not having the cable throttle body that I needed and all that was for the Gen 4 rods. So if this is not an 06 engine, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. And I told you at the beginning of the video that I wasn't real, I didn't have a whole lot of faith in the way things were running when I went to that scrap yard. So we'll just see how this goes. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I didn't get screwed. But, and you know what, guys, even if I did it, you know, again, it may not have even been their fault. I mean, it's totally feasible that at some point someone may have, this may really have come out of what they said it did. You know, at some point somebody may have blown up the old Gen 4 engine, and maybe somebody just stuck an older model engine back in the Tahoe. But I think it's more likely that this engine did not come out of a 06 Tahoe. And it says right on the tag that was hanging on this engine, it actually says 06 Tahoe, guys. So I'm so aggravated at this point because I need to know. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and flip this son of a bitch over and pull the pan off of it and have a look. And see, here's the thing, guys. I have never, every engine you've seen me use on this channel has had Gen 4 rods. They've all been like 05 and up engines. Well, actually, this is the first 5.3 that you've seen me work on. Every other engine you've seen me build or swap or anything on this channel has been 6.0s. And they've all been 05 or older, or I mean 05 or newer. So I have never seen, none of the engines I have dealt with on this channel have had the different length head bolts. And it's my understanding that the different length head bolts went away in like, I think 2003 or something. Well, the Gen 4 rods didn't start until late 04 in the 5.3s. And so you can see my chain of thought here. It's like, if this thing's got the different length head bolts, it ain't gonna have my Gen 4 rods, and therefore it ain't gonna be a out of a 2006 Tahoe. Now again, my experience with 5.3s is very limited, so if I'm wrong about that, you guys chime in. I know I'm right about the rods, but I could be wrong about the, it's totally possible that I could be wrong about the head bolts. I know none of the 6 liters that we've taken apart on this channel have had the different length head bolts. They've all had the same length head bolts. Tell you what, guys, I'm getting nervous because I'm about 90% sure I'm not going to like what I'm about to see. And what I'm going to end up doing is looking up the damn VIN number on this tag and seeing if they just called it the wrong thing, but it's the right VIN number. See if the VIN number ends up being like an 03 Tahoe or something, or what the deal is. Either way, I got a bad feeling I'm about to lose my freaking mind here in just a second. Crack this thing loose. Let's get a freaking nut. Here we go. Moment of truth. Fucking Gen 3 rods, guys. Gen fucking 3 rods. Yep. I got screwed. Definitely got screwed. Well, I hate to do it to you, but we're going to end this video right here.